Hello everyone, welcome to week 3 of my 100-week art challenge. I'm Michael and I'm sharing my artistic exploration in my videos. This week I completed this illustration of a girl combing her hair. There are numbers and math symbols combed out of her hair and flowers, trees, animals, and colors burst out after combing. This is my third illustration using lines and solid colors, following the momentum of the cake illustration I completed last week. As usual, I started sketching in Procreate on an iPad. This illustration kind of symbolizes the struggle I had with my career. On the surface, it can be seen as me moving away from my mathematically driven engineering career to pursue a more vibrant and imaginative art career. But it can also represent how I sometimes need to shed my analytical tendencies and embrace uncertainty and creativity. My analytical and conservative traits played an important role in how I had chosen my career path. A large part of the reason that I became an engineer was because of cultural expectations, the status and stable income it would bring. It was a very logical choice. When I left my engineering job, my goal was to become an artist working in the entertainment industry, and I wanted to work on movies and games in a studio environment where I would get a monthly paycheck and mostly follow the instructions of my superior and help visualize their ideas. It was another logical choice because it's safe and stable, yet it took me a long time to recognize the ironic similarity between these two jobs. In both scenarios, I'm helping other people realizing their ideas using all of my available daytime. Having survived the gruesome Chinese educational system, I was taught all my life that you need to be careful, you need to choose stability, and you should be an obedient employee in a big company, and every question has only one right answer, so choose it wisely. This made me treat everything like a project: the pros, the cons, the risks, the input, and outcome. It had given me a seemingly nice life, while in fact I was living with fear and couldn't get out of my shell. I didn't dare to dream bigger, and I have reinforced the belief constantly that it is smarter to just be a follower and let my life pass by with ease. Yet even with this revelation, I still couldn't get out of my comfort zone for quite some time. I began thinking about doing commissioned fantasy portraits for people. It for sure can generate income and still give myself a moderate degree of creative freedom. Then one day I felt so miserable thinking about a life of drawing portraits for people I don't even care about. I said to myself, just for once in your life, stop worrying and planning and thinking and studying and exercising. Pick up the damn pen and draw something that is uniquely you, that you feel truly excited about. It was such a moment of relief to finally reach that point. I finally dared to dream of the sweet taste of freedom. I am so glad that I finally broke the barrier of doubt, fear, resistance, and conditioned beliefs. And I am finally on my way to figure out what I actually wanted to do and what I am capable of. I started out this 100-week art challenge holding a bunch of oil paint brushes, having a vague idea of exploring my own artistic voice. This is the third week, and I just became very interested in the field of illustration, in which I have seen a lot of professional artists get to heavily express their unique artistic vision while maintaining a sustainable career. This week, aside from working on this illustration, I also spent half the time reading interviews, blogs, and books by professional illustrators, and I felt very excited about it. It's so interesting looking back how my mind has shifted over the past 6 months. Illustration was not even on my radar not too long ago, while I was being miserable pushing myself after things that didn't provide enough creative freedom. The past few months also made me think about how we know so little about ourselves, our interests, our aptitude, our temperament. It's so dangerous to focus on one thing and don't let go, to live in a fictitious reality that our mind creates based on limited information and bias, and forget about how malleable and adaptable, as well as inherently complex we are. Maybe after a while I would discover that I'm interested in something else, or some career that I might not even be aware of right now, even if it's not directly related to art. One thing I'm certain is that in my life, I want to be great with drawing and design, great with visual communication, and great with creating compelling pieces of art which are true to myself and touches other people. That's enough to keep me going on this quite foggy and lonely road. Well, that's a lot of rambling about my thoughts. Now I'd like to talk a bit about the painting media I use. I like digital painting because of several reasons. It is super clean and I don't need to deal with messy eraser residue or paints all over the place. And my cat likes to roam around on my desk all the time. It's so much easier to just deal with a glass screen. Also, digital painting is much faster and I can use all sorts of different brushes to mimic a variety of textured natural brushes and create interesting effects, while normally the natural media wouldn't work together on paper or on the canvas. Finally, it's much easier to modify things digitally. I like to put down sketches and then move pieces around and scale them based on how they turn out visually. It's really like magic. However, with digital painting, the artworks always look a bit too polished and fake, no matter how much texture I use, and it's not easy to draw organic looking smooth lines either on the screen. The biggest downfall to me is that there is no original work that can be cherished or sold, and there's also a lot of stigma in the art community when it comes to digital painting, which is a bit absurd to me. I think art is art. A digital artist still needs to put the same amount of visual expertise to create compelling images, but I can definitely understand why a lot of people appreciate more of the original handmade one-of-a-kind artworks that they can feel and touch. I tried out oil painting a few months ago and it took forever to dry, but I actually enjoyed the process and the organic feeling of the materials interacting with each other. Perhaps one day I will incorporate traditional media in my workflow. It took me so long to draw the hand. I took a picture of my own hand as reference, which is why the chubby fingers didn't seem to fit the beautiful girl very well. I know that hand is one of the most difficult body parts to draw for many artists. I definitely need to spend some concentrated time in the near future to practice drawing hands. I did the coloring in Photoshop and different from my previous illustrations, this time I incorporated some texture which I had only applied on my Pinterest style artworks before. There was a lot of experimenting which I didn't record as it will only make the time-lapse video very disorienting roaming in and out of the canvas. I made an animation turning on each Photoshop layer as a way to dissect this illustration. That's it for the third week of my 100-week art challenge. I hope you enjoyed the illustration and me talking about my career shifts and mindset. Please give this video a like and a comment below with any questions or advice. If you are interested in seeing future updates of my 100-week art challenge, please hit the subscribe button and check out my other videos. Thank you and have a wonderful one. I'll see you next week.